अस्सलाम वालेकुम एंड गुड मॉर्निंग पाकिस्तान। शाहिद नसीम की जानिब से आपको खुश आमदीद जी DBTV AM के प्रोग्राम में जी। और प्रोग्राम का आगाज़ करते हैं जी। और इससे पहले कि मैं बाकायदा आगाज़ करूँ और किसी न्यूज़ की जानिब चलूँ, कल की जो एक बहुत ही अफसोसनाक सूरत हाल थी, कल जलजिला आया और करीबन 5.8 रेक्टर स्केल पर उसकी शिद्दत थी, जिसके नतीजे में अब तक जो इतलात मौसूल हुई हैं उसके नतीजे में 30 से ज़ायद जो है वो अमवात हो चुकी हैं और 300 से ज़ायद जो है वो लोग ज़ख्मी हैं। 162 के करीब जो है जिनके बारे में बताया जा रहा है कि वो शदीद ज़ख्मी हैं। सो वो लोग जो कल इस दारिफ़ानी से कूच कर गए, उनके लिए ये दुआ कि अल्लाह ताला उनके दर्जात को बुलंद फरमाए, उनके आगे की जो मंजिलें हैं उनको आसान करे और उनके जो लवाहिकीन हैं उनको सब्र अता करे। और जो लोग ज़ख्मी हैं उनके लिए ये दुआ कि अल्लाह ताला उनको जल्द जो है वो सेहतियाब करे और इस मुश्किल और कठिन वक्त में से निकाले। बहुत शदीद ज़लज़ला था और बहुत ज़्यादा तस्वीरें वगैरह आपने फेसबुक वगैरह पे देखी भी होंगी कि वो रोड्स वगैरह जो थी वो क्रैक्स में पड़ गए और हादसात वगैरह बहुत से पेश आए। और कल जो करीबन दिन का वक्त था, अराउंड अबाउट 4 बजे का वक्त था और 4 बजने में कुछ वक्त याद आता था गालिबन जब ये ज़लज़ला आया। तो एक बहुत अफसोसनाक वाक़या जिसका जिक्र करना ज़रूरी था जी। अच्छा जी, आज हम लोग कुछ जो है वो जो लोकल सियासत है, जो मकामी सियासत है, उससे निकल के कुछ इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिक्स की बात करेंगे, क्योंकि खान साहब भी जो है वो जनरल असम्बली में थे, वहाँ पर गए, उन्होंने वहाँ पर जाके अपना खिताब भी किया, ट्रम्प से भी उनकी मुलाकात हुई, मोदी और ट्रम्प की भी मुलाकात हुई। और जो इंटरनेशनल सिनेरियो है वो जो यूनाइटेड नेशन की जो जनरल असम्बली है उसके हवाले से पाकिस्तान, कश्मीर और भारत और अमेरिका के इन 4 के अलावा जो और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट जो 2-3 चीज़ें थी जिनका डायरेक्टली अगर पाकिस्तान के साथ ताल्लुक़ नहीं भी है तो इनडायरेक्टली बहुत गहरा ताल्लुक़ है, वो जो एक एशियन ब्लॉक बनने जा रहा है उसके हवाले से बहुत गहरा ताल्लुक़ है, जिसके अंदर रशिया जो है वो पार्टिसिपेंट है, ईरान पार्टिसिपेंट है, सऊदीया पार्टिसिपेंट है और इन सारों के होते हुए ऑब्वियसली अमेरिका तो है ही है। सो कुछ इस मंजरनामे के ऊपर आज रोशनी डालेंगे, कुछ इस पर बात करेंगे। और इस पर बात करने के लिए हमें स्टूडियोज़ में ज्वाइन किया है। वेरी वार्म वेलकम टू अहमद ज़की। अहमद, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
A political analyst and especially an international relation expert. Ahmed, thank you very much for coming here and joining us.
Welcome.
So it's once again it's a test for me to speak in English. So yeah, it's not my strongest area, not my strongest suit. So let us talk about Ahmed, the Iran, first of all, the Iran and Saudi conflict. Now, Mr. Trump, we heard that Mr. Trump has decided to send his armies in the Gulf area, or especially for the Yemen or some other areas. So Iran spoke over this topic, and they said that it will be very, very dangerous for the whole region, not only for the US or not only for the Saudi or Iran, but for the whole region. How do you take this? That Saudi are sending armies once again, and after they have decided not to send army anywhere. Now Trump said very clearly that they don't want to engage in any conflict, in any armed conflict, and they don't want to send their armies anywhere in the world, but yet they have decided to send more armies.
There are a couple of things which are directly affecting this. Saudi Arabia is the largest country producing the oil, exports in the oil, and their economic backbone is the oil production. Last week have been attacked an oil facility in Saudi Arabia. After the investigation, Saudi Arabia declared that the attack came from Iran, and they said that
it was US who declared that
yes, it was,
the attack was from Iran.
We can understand the conflict between President Trump and the administration of Iran. It's very clear that they already have a conflict.
It was strange that before Saudi declared anyone, or before Saudi accused anyone about these incidents, so Trump said that it was from Iran.
Definitely that was indicating America. President Trump is putting a lot of pressure so that he can get a lot of coalition from European countries who are neglecting to involve any pressure, economic pressure, or any sort of a conflict with Iran, because they already had an agreement with Iran, which America withdrew last year. The main issue is here that Saudi Arabia is one of the largest country who are supplying European and America for the oil.
Okay.
And they cannot compromise to lose Saudi Arabia in any way. So if Saudi Arabia goes to put their proposal in front of the United Nations, as they are going to put today in UN, that will be a lot of pressure for Iran's foreign policy, and it will put there will be a lot of economic sanctions from UN if that is become like Iran is behind the attack, because it is the lifeline of the all developed countries. Saudi Arabia is the lifeline of the all developed countries. All their industries depend on the oil, so they cannot compromise that. Iran, it softened its strategy earlier. They were saying that we are not going to negotiate in any way, and now President Hassan Rouhani, he opened the door. He said that we are ready to make amendment or to make any change.
He even said that he's going to present a plan to stabilize the region.
To stabilize the region. This shows that in one way that it might be Iran was behind the attack so that they could get attention of the world that we are still strong regardless of the economic sanctions of America, and we are able to destabilize the whole lifeline of oil. Because it was very clear when their oil is, President Hassan Rouhani said 1 month earlier that if Iran couldn't be able to sell its oil, no one will sell its oil in this region. So it was very clear threat earlier. Now the practical time came. Even though the claim came from Houthi, from Yemen, they said we attack and we are the responsible of the attack of Saudi Arabia. But due to the sophisticated technology which they have used,
it shows
that they are unable to use that. And the logic gives you a very clear answer that if Houthi is able to attack Saudi Arabia in that sophisticated technology of weapons, why they didn't use for the last 4 years war was going on? Why today, when the world leaders come under the huge pressure of Iran, why Iran is going to do this? It's clear message that Iran want to have a upper hand on the negotiation in the United Nations.
Okay,
Security
let's
Council.
move on to this point. Now, Iran said that they are going to present a security plan for the region. So, what could that plan be?
The plan, they have already 1 or 2 points they have already declared it. Like one first accusation came from United States that Iran is attacking boats which owned by Saudi Arabia, oil boats in the Gulf of Persia, and that was only just 1 month before. But Iran want to play an independent role without influence of any other nation, and that will be unacceptable for the world powers, especially for United States. So they want to play a role that not involved by US.
Okay.
And in this region, more than 7 major military bases of America is located in the Gulf region. So in this Gulf region, already the major security sponsor is by American military. So if you are not involved in them, into any sort of the plan that you are going to put forward, it will be just useless.
Okay, we'll take a short break here, and when we'll come back, we'll talk about the Russia and China converging, or rather I should say that China and Russia collaborating with each other to make a new superpower, or could they make a new superpower in the region? We'll talk about that but after a short break. Stay with us. वेलकम बैक जी, एक बार फिर से खुश आमदीद। हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं अहमद ज़की। अहमद, ओके, बिफोर वी गो टू रशिया, चाइना और इनफैक्ट इन अराउंड पाकिस्तान, आई वांट टू क्लोज दिस डिबेट अबाउट ईरान एंड सऊदी एंड अमेरिका with a very simple point that Iran said that America, United States, is involved in economic terrorism. So what do they mean by this term, economic terrorism?
Economic terrorism, they mean that it is the first time in the history of the United States that they put sanctions on central bank of any other country. So now it is going to affect the lifeline of the normal citizens of Iran. Like the normal citizens of Iran cannot buy medicine, and they cannot buy like food normal daily basis from their bank account transactions that we are using daily basis, because all the transactions are dependent on the IMF and the World Bank transaction. And if they have been put on sanctions, that at the end of the day, the central bank of Iran will collapse, and that will end up that economic disaster for Iran. That way, that they are saying that America is targeting a public Iranian public people, and that is why they call it an economic terrorism.
Economic terrorism. Okay. Now, in the same region, there is another bloc, or we should say that it's in a process of becoming a bloc. Now, China and Russia. It's a very huge powers. Both are very huge powers. One is a former superpower. Now, do you see anywhere in the near future China or Russia is joining hands with Iran, or in fact China, because China has a very good relation with Iran. So China and Iran is going to team up to put pressure on US?
There is one clear point that even though they have a political ideology difference between these three nations, but still they have a common interest, which is they are, three of them, they are facing American pressure. So they have only one enemy that is uniting them. In one side, Russia is most technologically advanced when it came to the space. They are the first. Even America didn't reach that level till today. So in technological way, when you see the space in the world, the leading point is Russia. Now, if Russia is going to join hand by hand with China with economic help, that will put Russia in a position that they can challenge the hegemony of America in the world. What Iran can do to join this sort of bloc? Iran is the only lifeline and the primary lifeline for the Chinese industry. They are dependent on the energy of Iran. They are the largest partners of Iran. Even though America put a lot of sanctions on economic sanctions, still China didn't cooperate on that. And that is what America worries about it. The question is that, can Iran survive for a long time under this economic pressure? And if they survive, what is their alternative of their economic sources rather than the oil selling out? Still, Iran didn't develop any new sector for their economics, rather than only dependence on the oil. And that is one of the major drawback of the Iranian administration. They were capable for developing technology with the help of Russia. They didn't do that side. They were having an ability to open market for their own people to the rest of the world, making the East for their main trade partners. They didn't do that. Still, there is a huge corruption in the highest level of the administration of Iran. They don't want to lose the enjoyment of the wealth of the nation. So the royal military, who are guardians of the revolutionary, they don't want to lose the power, and that puts a huge risk for the future of Iran. Come to the point of if they join all together. If they join all together, they can become a bloc of Eastern world, which can at least resist American pressure.
Okay. Now, once again, when I said earlier that China and Russia it seems like they are joining hands and to overcome a superpower or to become a superpower. Now, it's a very far-fetched theory. I'm not saying that it is actually like that, or it's just a far-fetched theory. Now, do you see it happening, or it could happen? Russia and China? It
could happen in, we call it, it's the marriage of convenience. So today they are having a same interest. They can grow slowly together. They can come together for making a one block of their own interest, but they cannot become a world power who can dominate the rest of the world like America and Western powers have dominated. They are very far away.
Because the power has always been in the, or at least we should say that
they
for a long time the power is in Western countries.
For the last 200 years, the power is in the hands of Western. Earlier it was Western Europe. Now still it's in American hand. The question is that America is dominating the rest of the world. this bloc can protect their own area, their own bloc, their own area. For example, China want to influence in this subcontinent. America want to.
I thought they already have influence.
America want to give a huge help to India so that they can counter Chinese. So, okay. Is India ready to work with Russia, China? That would be the greatest achievement on the region.
Okay, now this, when you've involved India, I must ask that this incident about Kashmir and then Pakistan presenting this issue to the whole world, and now Prime Minister Imran Khan, he was in General Assembly, he talked about Kashmir, then he meet Trump, he again talked about Kashmir, Trump meet Modi, and Modi talked about Kashmir, and he said that we have obligated the problem which was there for last 70 years, and Modi was quite comfortable with it, talking about it like it's nothing, and Trump was quite comfortable with it, hearing it like it was nothing, and he didn't say anything about Kashmir, or he didn't say that at least you should lift the curfew. Or then again, when Prime Minister Imran Khan said about Kashmir, that he said that America should play a very vital role, and he's supposed to play a very vital role. He's responsible being a superpower of the world. Again, the Trump was very defensive. He said that if both parties are involved and both parties are what you call that, both parties are willing to talk about it. So his narrative was a bit changed about Kashmir. So how do you see that that this issue of Kashmir playing in the international politics with the relationship of Pakistan, America and India? And of course China.
One thing which is very positive for Kashmir is, and which Pakistani Prime Minister have presented in the General Assembly or put in front of the international attention, is that Kashmir issue become an international issue. The question is that who is leading the international society? It's America. It's the first point that if Pakistan convince American administration to intervene in this issue, that would be the greatest achievement for the Pakistan support of the Kashmiris. Come to the other side of the world, like European Union. European Union, they set a clear boundaries. They said it's a human rights violation, it's unacceptable, and they are with the side of the Prime Minister Khan. What they can do? The question is that it's not only condemning them. The question is that how much they can do for them. The question is that Trump and President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, they have similarities. You have to understand that. Both of them are nationalist, supremacist. Both of them are propagating that their own nation is the first. They don't care about the human rights. You know Trump, what he have done in the border, Mexico's US border.
Texas.
He is separating the child from their own parents who are running from the civil war, gangsters, buffered. So he don't care about the human rights. And what Imran Khan presenting in the public, in the United Nations, is trying to explain to the United States is that there is a human rights violation which Trump don't care it. And Trump administration don't care. The question is that Prime Minister Imran Khan and his administration, they should have to play a new card so that they can influence.
That's what I wanted to talk about, that what is the alternative there.
The alternative is very clear.
We'll talk about it after a short break. We have to take a short break, so let's take a short break. Welcome back जी, एक बार फिर से खुश आमदीद. हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं जी अहमद ज़की. Okay, Ahmed, now what is the alternative? Because Prime Minister Imran Khan, he was very disappointed. He said that United Nations or the international community has not responded as I was hoping or as they should respond about Kashmir.
It is very clear, and international society is dominated by United States. What United States says, the rest of the world follows. Imran Khan is taking the policy of the worldview, globalization, where the previous democratic president Barack Obama was propagating. If it could be Obama administration today, the situation would be different. The situation would be the positive side for the Prime Minister Khan. But Prime Minister Khan and his administration still didn't try to understand the Trump administration. Trump administration don't understand the language of globalization. They are nationalistic, they are protectionistic, and they are focusing their own interest. So he should have to play the card of their own interest. What is the interest America have with Pakistan? They should have to put a condition on that, and that is the Afghanistan-Pakistan relations. America want to help for Afghanistan. They should have to put the point from here. We are not going to give you help unless you are going to give us help on Kashmir issue. So that would be a lot of pressure on American interests in Afghanistan to safeguard their own soldiers from Afghanistan. They should have to solve the case of
Okay, do you think that
Kashmir.
Pakistan is in a position to
Bargain?
or having this sort of an economy, having this sort of a crisis internally?
It's do or die mission. Why? Because already when Trump came, he cut all the aid that they used to provide for Pakistan. But still Pakistan exists. They didn't dissolve. They didn't die. Pakistani army is still doing their own operations. They can protect their own land. India tried to intervene and they protect their land perfectly. So Trump help, the American help or the American economic help was not positive point for Pakistan. If they deduct, they did anything for their economics. Right? Pakistan is going economic crisis, but any sort of help that America is going to provide for Pakistan will never solve the problem of Pakistan's economic position. So Pakistan should have to put their conditions forward, because America is the one who needs today for Pakistan, and they should have to put their proposal in front of the Trump administration. They said, this is our national interest, this is your national interest. So if we are going to do anything for you, you should have to do something for us.
You should resolve the problem of Kashmir first.
Definitely, yes. And
okay, that could be a very valid reason, and that could be a very valid option for Pakistan.
Yes, that is very valid, and that is the language that Trump administration understands. It's the only national interest.
I believe that is the only language they might understand now.
Yeah.
Because the alternative was the way he talks and the way he's dealing the Kashmir issue. I think that he's just balancing the Pakistan and Kashmir. Hadiq Khan is a very good friend of mine, and he's a very good gentleman. And the journalists who are asking questions, they are very good journalists, and that's it. It feels like that he's not serious about anything.
He was not serious about that, and one thing more is very clear. Why he have India? He want to make a trade deal with India, and Modi give a trade deal that he said that I'm going to open my market for American investment, for American companies. So if American companies are going to invest in India, he's going to make a huge concession for that. So
he's going to protect their interest, because
he's going to protect their interest.
Their interest is US interest.
It's very clear, and the language that Modi was using in front of the President Trump was nationalism.
Well, in fact, Trump himself said that Modi was very aggressive, and the words used by Modi was very aggressive.
And he said he shouldn't be used that words, but it's been well received. Why he say it's been well received? Because it's Indian people who are well received.
At that time, it seems that it was well received by Trump too.
Definitely, because he was speaking another language that Trump cannot understand.
I think Trump was getting the translation. He was hearing something.
He said that it was being well received because it was American Indians who were the audience, not international audience, and not like a mixed audience. It was very clear. It was Indian-American audience.
Indian audience. Okay, Ahmed, we are short on time, so thank you so much for coming here and discussing the important issues.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ahmed Zaki was with us today, a political analyst and especially an international relation expert. और प्रोग्राम का जो वक्त है जी वो ख़त्म हो जाता है जी. मुझे दीजिए इजाज़त. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.